Okay.
Well, sure
All
that
right, we're live here, so I want to say welcome to everyone today. Like I said earlier, multiple times, I apologize
I don't
for,
know if it's on this one.
not
I
having a
don't
quorum
know.
today, meeting with our
I did
members
not look at
that
that one
showed up
around
today.
that
And
very well, so.
I know these meetings are very important,
But
and I know
they
that,
got off the house.
that we'll take time out of our days to come and, come here, what we as a nation is doing for our people. And I know that we had some emergency stuff pop up today, so unfortunately, we can't have a quorum today, so. But since everyone's here and the directors are here, that we will still follow through with some of the director reports. And I know Annie's on Teams on the other computer here, so we do have two council members. So if anybody wants to have questions or say anything, please, request a microphone. And I want to say Miigwech, and Merlin's here to do the prayer, so we'll start the meeting off in a good way with our prayer, and then I'll hand the microphone over to our elders to say their words. So Miigwech.
Okay. Well, that's what I forgot.
Oh, Miigwech, Merlin. Go ahead, Tito. Now this one.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's still up there.
They're still on.
Okay. As long as it's still on.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Regrets to Mike for always having us here. And thank you, Annie, for being here also. And for the prayers this morning, it's always a good way to start out with prayer. We do that at our meetings too. Yesterday, I met with Lori and Kurt, and we went through a lot of the issues that we have concerns with. And I just want to bring forth a few of them. First of all, we did request an invitation to the directors' meetings or managers' meetings. So, a lot of times we have questions and we don't know who to contact. So we did ask for an invitation so we can be there and ask questions that are needed for our elders. So Lori was gonna do that. She's following through with a letter that we had requested for a bus fleet, because we want to start taking elders out. They've been in clothes for like 3 years now. with COVID and everything, we're finally able to bring them out a little bit. Um, And thank everybody that comes to these meetings all the time. It's good to see faces and our people that are here, that are always concerned about what's happening with our programs, why we can't get assistance when we need it. Mike and Annie have been here, I guess, for most of the meetings, but we don't see the other faces. And I think that it's important we say that. I think we should have all our council representatives here for a meeting. So when we have requests or we have questions to ask them, and that's not being mean, it's just, we are the people they're working for. We should be their bosses, not their being our bosses. So, that's important to get out there, that message from, especially from us elders, because we're supposed to be taken care of as we age. And I'm here for the last, 20 years? Begging for assistance for our elders. I should be sitting home in my rocking chair, which I don't have. But things that are important, our elders' needs, we need to continue to find ways to address those. When we hear of a person living in a place that he's heating with propane tanks, and the propane tanks are $75 each. So he budgets out of his money in order to get that. We finally got something going where they're gonna get him a stove, I guess. That's where we need to ask department heads, well, where's this progressing? What's happening with this? I don't mention names because I haven't been given permission for that, so. But these are some of the concerns we have and continue to have. I relayed yesterday to Lori and Kurt. I got called from California, from Oregon, from all over. People happen to see the name in the paper. I leave up my number so they can call and try to assist them. That's not my job. What I want is a list of the managers so that if I can't refer them to that one, I want to know why. Because there's people, our people, that are enrolled out there asking for help and they're not getting it. We shouldn't let our elders sit in housing that's moldy and all this. What's happening to that $1 million fund? We need to get these things going. We've been waiting on congregate. I know that, there's promises this is going to be done again. It's been going on for how long? And that roof is horrible up there. And with the snow amounts we've had this year, I had 3 feet of snow on my house. And I thank the group that came over and took it off there. When I appreciated when I could even hear the creaks now in the house as it settles. But before you're afraid that's gonna cave in. And I worry about these trailer homes that are flat and get so much snow on them. Those are the ones that are in danger the most. So, managers of programs start to think about these things. We're not here all the time to write. We're here to ask for the assistance that is supposedly out there for us. Um, I'm really anxious to hear about this $1 million programming. You know, we always been hearing is we need to get codes. Well, you know, what's happening with that? Why can't you get a code and get that started? Maybe whoever is here can address that, but some of the other things, safety again. You know, we have an elder lady that was given a blanket at our elder Christmas party. She can't use that blanket because she's afraid that somebody will come in and break in and take it. She has to put it somewhere safe. If she leaves her home at all, if she gets sick, goes in the hospital, everything's gone. Why? You know, these are elders again that we're saying, God help us. Safety issues. We've talked with Mike Laura, and anyway, we have talked with him about some of this stuff. But you need to hear it here because a lot of the people that come again say it over and over again, that safety issues, housing, whatever else concerns. But we went over a lot of them yesterday with Lori and Curtin, and I think we're going to be addressing at least some, so we can have a beginning there. I know there's a lot of legal problems, and I hope that Anishinaabe Legal Service is still coming to Whiter, because I'm referring people there yet, but we have problems with communication, because many of the people that are supposed to be there, like Anishinaabe, they can't get a hold of them. They say they call down and they're switched all over again. And Lori again was working on something where that would be straightened out, so we wouldn't have to have people drop all the time. Anyway, that's just a synopsis of some of the things we went over yesterday. And we'll keep meeting with Lori prior to this meeting to make sure that our needs are heard through the council again. But we'll also bring them here so everybody can hear. Do you have anything from our other elders? Oh, our first meeting now is beginning on April 5th, Tuesday. The first Tuesday of every month we'll be meeting, and I'm working out the schedule right now. But the first meeting, April 5th in Pine Point. We missed our meeting out there last time, had to change it for whatever reason. And managers, whoever, are all welcome to come and attend that. Yes, sir.
Tito, April 5th is election day.
I understand that,
Okay.
but they have all day. So our meeting is at noon.
Okay.
Right at lunch, and we go for a couple hours anyway, yeah.
But you know, I was wondering, that bus that the elders have been waiting for, now will that bus be used in all the communities for all the elders? Or like who want to attend meetings and events, will that bus be used for
We can make,
transporting?
yeah, we
everyone?
can make those arrangements, if our driver agrees. We're waiting on that bus because we had it, made specifically so that we wouldn't have to have a CDL driver. You know, it's hard for any program to get a CDL driver. Even schools, or they're all hurting for CDL drivers. And that's one of the reasons why this is taking so long. We have specific requests on that bus. But excuse me, in the meantime now, that was one of the things I requested of Lori yesterday, was a written letter, to be saying that we could use bus service, like one of their buses for a trip or for a meeting, if we want to pick up people for it. So we'll be arranging that if we could set up some kind of a schedule to get the bus to go around and pick up. We did it before, and people would ride.
Because
Yeah,
I know for the elders' Christmas party, they went and picked up in all the different communities except for Monoman.
you know what? And that's one thing we're trying to also get a elder council set up here in Monoman. So they're working on that. That way we can coordinate better too. We didn't have anybody that we could connect with to make arrangements before. But that will be done once Monoman gets whatever they need to do together, so. Does that answer you?
Kind of.
Kind of?
I just wanted to guarantee that all the communities were included on that bus.
And it is. We will use it as we can. We also had asked for a second bus, and that was one of the things Ray Aganash was gonna be working on, was a bus for the northern end. And this one of them would be for the rest of the, kind of the south and east portion. Like Ponsford, Ogma, White Earth, Callaway, in those areas, okay? Then Ray was supposed to be working on a bus for the northern end of the reservation. Because it's very difficult for one bus to go, all around. If they're gonna, for example, be here at 9 o'clock in the morning, it would be hard to go all around.
So when you talk about the southern part, you're talking about just District 1? Well,
District-
Callaway, I know, well, yeah,
District 1 and 2,
which would be Monoman,
yeah.
or 2.
But I don't know where Ray is on that, if he requested one. But when we and by the way, the bus we're requesting is, we're told, a year out again. That's why I asked for a letter, so that when we need a bus to use, we have confirmation of that. Right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so until that comes about, we don't have anything planned right now. And unfortunately, if we would have asked for a bus, two of the reps aren't even here. We can't have a legal meeting.
Well, look at all the members that made
I-
it here.
I know that, that's what I'm saying. But our reps are not here. Ones that are supposed to be working for us.
Tell them that.
Maybe they're on travel, I don't know what's going on, but, this is a meeting that and it represents us. That's why they should be here. We're here all the time. We take our time to come out here. Anybody else from our elder section have anything to add? No, I think I've said enough, but any other questions from anybody out there?
I don't got a question, but I do got something to say.
You want to use it?
No, I don't think so. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
The problem we have with our elders is that the RBC don't really care. They don't care. You can go every candidate and they say how much they care for elders and they don't. I'm gonna give you an example. Because you know what's going on, you hear. My sister's house had her roof repaired. replaced. What happened? Water. The old goddamn roof prior to that didn't leak. It was just crumbling. Now with the new roof, it's leaking. Mold. She keeps a clean, tidy house. Now what happens? Another leak just happens. Right above her store. And I talked about this a couple of meetings ago about this. Water's coming down, hitting her microwave, so she had to take that out. What's going to happen eventually is the mold. Then the house is going to have to be condemned when everybody knows the problem and nobody does a goddamn thing. The guy that come out that did the roof, he left the goddamn shingles in the rain gutters. Took the goddamn antenna off and left it off. They come out to clean their roof. The guy, he come out, what he did, he took a foot and a half roof on the edge of the roof, so all the way around, that was it. And he must have got paid for cleaning the whole roof. That's fraud. It's time that you guys, the RBC, starts getting involved. Nobody, the problem is, everybody's related to somebody, one way or the other. Sons, nephews, mom, dads, and they're friends their whole life. And they're scared to go and talk to these people or tell them, hey, do the job or I'll find somebody who do the job for you. Now, my sister's been calling Dennis Jackson numerous times, and she doesn't get a call back on that. What's wrong with people? You scared to confront somebody? I'm not. I don't give a shit who you are. I wish these other council members were here to listen to this. When's the time going to come? Hold on. When's the time going to come to turn this around? Confront this man in housing. Then we had the prior housing director stealing left and right for his rental units, and nobody did the goddamn thing. Stealing left and right. What's wrong with you people? What is wrong? When you get up and say you care, nobody, past or present, dead or alive, I ever seen really give a shit. Listen, Mike, you got to take the bull by the horns. That's your job. You want people to come and remodel your house, they don't have no goddamn experience and nothing. Nothing. They can't even hit a goddamn nail. Let's get some journeymen in there and pay the journeymen to teach our young people the right way. They come and put my sister's door in backwards. Backwards. Holy Christ, if there's any of you hired somebody to come fix your roof and you had them problems, you'd be seeing them in court. You'd be pissed. So, let's get an answer. When is this going to turn around? Our house started leaking. She takes good care of her house. She's not like some of these assholes that got a goddamn house full of goddamn shit laying around. Stinks like heaven. I'm sick of this shit. Let's start treating our elders with respect. Let's get on a ball with these housing. Oh, now we're talking about itty bitty houses. We got a house, we have these other houses, maybe twice the size of what you're talking about, and they're all condemned. And I said, well, hired Amish to come fix those small houses up with their members. So they know we can get those small houses back in order. That is crazy to let things go like that. I'm asking you, Mr. Fairman, to get on the ball on this, especially my sister's house. Eventually what's going to have to do is take the ceilings down. They're all marked with water, the insulation. Water's leaking on top, right on top of her furnace. Her walls freeze. Right on top of her furnace. Water all over, constantly, every hour out there mopping water up. And she doesn't get a call back. What type of person is running that? Mr. Dennis Jackson. What type of person is that run a job? You know, I'm not scared to say shit to nobody. Nobody. I spoke my piece. And I hope it goes in somebody's ears and let's get some shit done. Okay?
Which,
Linda called me on this issue, 3 weeks ago? And I talked to everybody, and I reported, this Hill's problem to our council. I talked to people up here. I tried to get a hold of our new elder advocate. She called me twice, made 2 promises to me, never fulfilled either one of them. This is our problem. We're hiring people for who they know instead of what they know.
Right.
And that's what we gotta get back to, hiring people that know what they're doing. And I agree with you 100% on that. And I haven't forgot you, and you knows who you mentioned, the 2 people you mentioned, we've talked about it. And we talked about it yesterday at this meeting. We need to get these department heads doing their job. Every one of them. If they've got a job in their job description, maybe they should go back and look at it and see what they're supposed to be doing. Or else somebody could read it to them. Thank you.
I assure you, if that happened to their houses, it would have been done immediately. Immediately. Maybe because they have a little money to pay to afford something like that, but our elders don't. They barely get by on a month of money they get. Thank God for food shelves. Thank God for food shelves.
Thank you for sharing that story again. In my opinion, it has to do with accountability and leadership, or the lack of. For over 4 years, I have come to the council repeatedly with solutions to the housing crisis that we have on White Earth. And for whatever the reason, and to me, it always points back to the lack of leadership to follow through to address the problems that we have. My background is in social work, and I learned a long time ago, early in my practice, that unless the basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing are met, it is near impossible for anyone to self-actualize. And when you hear stories like this, or you drive housing that so many of our people live in, it is unacceptable. And especially when you are aware of solutions that are so viable and could be started immediately to improve the housing conditions for people on our reservation. For those of you that aren't familiar with what my business does, we have a construction company that builds net zero houses where they don't cost any more than what the housing authority is paying for now for a stick-built house. But we construct them in such a way that the resident doesn't have any electric bill, any heating bill, or any cooling bill. And when you look at the cost of utilities now, nobody can afford to pay their utilities. And again, I reach out to you as a council. Please seek the expertise of the people in the community that have solutions, that truly care about the quality of life for the people, that we're all here to serve and be in this together. There's no excuse and there's no reason for so many of our people to live in such deplorable housing conditions. And it leads into a whole gamut of other stuff. You know, you can't have 22 people living in a 2-bedroom house and not have terrible, terrible things happen for everybody in that house. And it goes back to the same thing that I have approached and reapproached for years. White Earth needs a comprehensive housing plan. This piecemeal thing that we are always trying to do doesn't work. And there are so many new techniques in building to alleviate all of the problems that, consistently surface, including the mold and the unaffordable energy costs. And so, again, Chairman Fairbanks, I reach out to you as a council. Please take advantage of the resources that you have right here in the community to address the housing crisis that we have. Thank you.
One more thing. The Elder Council is holding a all-candidate forum on Saturday, March 26th. And it'll be from 10 to 2. And we have it for all the candidates, because we might have districts that, for example, I'm not eligible to vote in District 2 or 1. But we have to work with those districts. So we do want to hear from them. And please spread the word that this is an all-candidate forum, and we want our members to be here. I don't know how, we can we can't offer transportation to anybody, but at this time. But spread the word and give them a lift if you can. Come to that candidate forum. It's important to hear what these people say they're gonna do for us. Because it's like they're applying for a job from us. We are the members that they're gonna be working for, not vice versa. So, come to the forum and be a part of it. We need all the people we can get there. So, thank you. Yes.
I'm tired of the most vulnerable people of our tribe, our reservation being exploited. Every time we got candidates, they all claim they want to help the elders, the children, and the homeless. And it's just talk. Where are those tiny homes that have been talked about for how long? We have children that need a place to live because they're taken out of the home. They're placed into non-native homes off the reservation. The green energy team wants $200,000 more. With $200,000, we can renovate that shop, half for sleeping quarters, half for play and study, so our children don't have to go into a non-native home or off the reservation. It would also create jobs. And it's like that's an immediate need. If we talk about these things like Leonard's sister's home, $1.9 million contract in one closed door meeting when our people are in need. Why is it when our people call different programs for help, they get the answering machine? I'd ask the chairman to get on to our executive director to get on the heads of these directors of these different programs and tell them to pick up that damn phone. We have immediate needs that need to be addressed. People, in their name, I say bullshit, because that's exactly what it is. I'm tired of our elders and our children and our homeless being exploited. I'm sick of it. We buy a hotel in Detroit Lakes. It's only temporary shelter. Our homeless people need stability. They need something to call their own, not have to worry day from day, week from week, where they're gonna lay their head. Those are immediate needs. When people say, oh, we want to do renewable energy, we want to do this and that for our future, the children we have now are the seed of that future. We need to take care of them first in order to grow. And I'm sick and tired of our people being exploited. I'm sick of lip service. So I asked Mike, get on your executive different programs, tell them to answer the phone. People make who's answering their phones and who's not. We should not be put on the back burner. Why bullshit goes right to the top, right? We were promised renewable energy. Where the hell is it? All you green people better come up. I don't care if you have to pedal a bike to get in my house, or if you have to sit and wave a piece of cardboard in front of a fire to heat my house. That $4.9 million, we think about the holidays, we've always gotten, members, I've always gotten the turkey for the holiday dinner. And one time, the request for turkeys was put in too late, so we got gift cards of $20, $25. This past holiday, we were told there was no funds to.
Yes, can I say something? My name is Joan Thompson. And, I just shake my head when I hear about all these homeless people. But what we should address is the reason why these people are homeless. A lot of this homelessness is probably caused by drugs, alcohol, and whatever. And I think that we have this hotel deal. We should make use of the currency that we have and invest in our people. With all these programs we have for alcohol and drug programs and the GED programs, the job training, the day labor, and teach these people and give them the tools that they need to succeed, and make that a regulation that this homeless shelter, if you live there and we feed you, that you have to participate in these programs. And that way we're investing in our people and investing in our future. And it's not just another handout, it's a handout. Thank you.
Rich, I know the department directors are here and they will explain some of the stuff that we are moving forward with some of these programs, especially with the homelessness and dealing with our later substance abuse program is, how do we get our people the help and the treatment they need when, in these services. And I know that we're working on a lot of different plans here. So I know, and I'll be asking them, and there'll be different areas. It's not going to be just, they have all specific areas they're going to give a little update about. So, but yeah, Tito.
Good, we're anxious to hear from
Okay.
the department.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
And thank you for having us here, but you're hearing from our elders now that we're tired. We're just tired. So all the candidates that are coming out, they better be ready for questions at that forum. And if they're interested enough, they can, ones that come here today are hearing a lot from our elders, and that's their list. I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much. Okay. You want me to?
Mr.
No.
Chairman, if I may.
Yeah, Annie wants to say a few words.
This is speaker. Is it? Try now, Annie.
Can you guys hear me?
No. Should be
How
there.
do you get her hooked up to the speaker?
Can't. That's YouTube's on there.
Oh,
Try now. Actually.
Hello, can you hear me? Bonjour.
Can't hear you on the speaker. I'm gonna see if I can get her on my phone.
Aisha's gonna call.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
you
they can
better.
hear Annie.
Okay, I'm listening and I can understand the frustration. Hold on, let me turn off my computer here. Anita made a lot of doing that forever. And also, we've been doing all we can for, dragging our feet. And I don't know why we can't move forward. As for, our addicts, I've been on them about Chris ever since I got in. And it's always, a barrier. We gotta do this, we gotta do that. Now, I asked Lenny this morning, where does our sovereignty weigh in here? We are sovereign. Why do we have to follow all these rules? It takes us 10 years to build up. Like bullshit, let's move forward for one. I'm sorry I'm not there. I'm out on medical. I was in the hospital, and the doctor wants me to try to remain stress-free, but it's like, I don't know, how we move forward when it seems like I'm the only one trying to fight for everything that's right for our people. It gets hard, believe me, but I don't stop fighting because that's who I work for is all of you. And that's, Mr. Leonard Thompson there, I know that they have been out there and have gone out there. I can't say we did the work, I don't know, but we'll get them out there. He's right, that she shouldn't be living in these, but we have so many out there with need. And I know the housing board is working hard to move forward on projects that, need to be on it, but it's hard with. And he's saying, bring in the Amish. What about our own people? That's when we've been getting to work is our own companies. And then, to say that they don't know nothing. I mean, no, that's just putting each other down. And, we can't do that anymore. Let's lift each other up. Let's move forward. And, that's why I want to know that I don't stop fighting. Yes, I may run into walls, but then I tell them to figure it out. I had one person in Nadawash that had his trailer house moved. Then they moved it 3 feet again and they still couldn't get it hooked up. Well, then they sent me this big email about all the problems. And I said, well, I don't want to hear the problems. I want to hear solutions. We can go all that's enough. No more excuses. Let's get our people up and running and let's, give them what they need and, let's be proud of each other because, without that, what are we? Just a bunch of natives that hate on each other and I don't like that. My against me or not, I'm not going to hold a grudge. We do have to move forward and we do have to get stuff up and running. We can no longer use COVID as an excuse because it's, the numbers are going way down. Yes, it's flu season, but we still can wear masks into these homes. We can still answer the damn phones, which, I've been saying all along, it's communication. It's accountability. We don't have that. We've never had that. And people are used to that. Well, it's about damn time they get used to being accountable and answering their phones and doing the work that they were hired to do for our members. English. Should I stay on the phone?
Up to you. Do you want to? Okay.
right, so, next we'll
Or I
have
can
our
call you when you wanna
directors do
talk.
the reports. So, Tracy, if you wanna come up and do your report,
Okay.
please. Maybe quick.
Hello, everybody. Is this on?
Press the button.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tracy. I'm the Director of Finance. I'll start with my accounts payable department. They've successfully sent out all the 1099 NECs and the 1099 miscellaneouses, including processing the upload file to the IRS portal. They've also been working on updating their vendor files and processing all applicable check requests and payments weekly, including COVID payments to the members. Payroll has sent out the employee W-2s for the tax year 2021, understand each other's processes and how they interact in our new payroll system, with the goal being to speed up the payroll process and minimize avoidable errors. Along with these accomplishments, they continue to process payroll and manage payroll issues on a bi-weekly basis. We're still processing a few small business pandemic relief payments. The money's been encumbered, we just need to liquidate it. I have a total of 10 small businesses that I'm waiting to obtain a Form W-9 for. Once the forms are received, I can pay them out and the program will be fully expended. Our finance coordinators were involved in 2 desk reviews this fiscal year so far. The first one involved a substance abuse grant. All expenses were allowable and necessary, and no findings were issued. The second review was for the WIC grant. Financial reconciliation also found no findings or areas of concern. Our annual audit is underway. The external auditors were here last week. Finance coordinators and myself worked with providing them backup information on their selected programs. From what I can tell so far from my inquiries, things went well, and I expect there to be no findings. For new staff, we hired Mary Ingebrigtsen as our office coordinator. Our purchasing team is in the process of training her in, and she's doing an excellent job so far. We've also hired Amanda Kent as the project manager for our contract and grants administration division. She'll be working on mainly behavioral health projects. She is catching on quickly and doing a great job. For our contracting team, they are working on numerous projects right now. The first one being the White Health Center addition. It's nearing completion, and once the staff moves into the new addition, renovation of the existing facility will begin. There's also a tribal health BMAR project. They are creating a request for proposal to renovate the Pine Point CHR office. The work will include furnace and water softener replacement, replacing siding and the ceiling of the addition. Project will be advertised on March 9th. A walkthrough is scheduled for March 16th, and the bid opening will be on March 24th. Rice Lake Elder Village, the schematic design is done, waiting for funding approval. Once this has been approved by RDC, AWH architects will begin the design phase. Boeco Housing First project, which is homeless apartments, 24 of them in Manoman, energy efficient. Gordon construction is 50% complete. Documents needed by Minnesota Housing for the loan closing are still outstanding, and construction is anticipated to be completed by July of 22. There's also a homeless shelter they are anticipating to put up at the Weimer House, which will be in the property next to Boeco Housing First. They're seeking permission to renovate and add to the property as a homeless shelter. They're waiting approval right now. They're posting for an architect this week for further development and existing structures to meet the need of the programs located there. They're working on bidding some youth lodge remodeling to accommodate the most urgent needs of the facility. Nadawash Health Center, the project is a little behind schedule. Whole Trees, the company to provide the structural real trees, has put the project behind. It was to have the trees on site in August, but didn't deliver them until January.
now in place, but the roof could not be installed till the weather was 30 degrees or higher, and it should begin next week. White Earth Congregate kitchen remodel. YHR Partners contract for Data Wash EMP kitchen remodel was amended to include this. And the bid opening was on February 8th. Notice boards the department for review. The WERDC contractors will begin gathering bonds and insurance to submit their contracts for approval. They got a lot going on. Christian retreat. YHR has completed the master site plan. A meeting will be held on March 21st to the review committee for comments, changes, etc. Once approval is given, the design phase will begin. Jack Hobb Men's Acute Care. Construction is underway for the residents and administration. Is 37% complete. The administration complete of exterior framing. Due to winter conditions, the roof wasn't able to be installed until next week when the temperature reaches 30 degrees. Tribal health remodel, behavioral health side. Tammy and Amanda, part of the staff, are working on the request for proposal to be advertised on Monday, March 14th. A walkthrough will help on Monday, March 21st, and the bid opening will be on Tuesday, April 5th. White Earth Child Care. An ICBBG grant was received from HUD on March 19th in the amount of $900,000. The estimated use to apply for the HUD ICBBG grant was $2.64 million. This was for a 10,100 square foot facility. The RDC committed 1.74 to the project. I don't think we've discussed funding source yet. DSGW Architects was hired in August of 21, currently the schematic design phase. They have now created an estimate of the same size facility for a total of $3.967 million. Child Care committed $1 million to contribute to the project, which leaves us with still a need still of $2.067 million to meet the budget. So right, Wyoming Boys and Girls Club. The old Senex building was purchased approximately 4 years ago as the future home of the Wyoming Boys and Girls Club. An ICBBG grant in the amount of $700,000 was received from HUD for this remodel. The grant was received on 6/24/19 and ends on 6/23/22. YHR was hired as the architect and estimated the project to cost $1.7 million. The project was bid in 10/19/21, and the total project cost was $4.3 million. Funds are not available to proceed with the project. YHR is estimating that the cost may be an additional 20% higher than last fall due to continuing inflation. We are awaiting guidance to see if there's funding available to move forward with this and ask for an extension, or if we need to give the grant back to us. And that's what I have for the finance department.
Yours, Tracy?
Any questions?
Any questions for Tracy?
I got one. I'd like clarification on the, there was a rumor going around that on these $30,000 loans that were issued to umpteen businesses that are either working or non-working, will they be getting 1099? I heard they would be.
So anybody that received that grant will be getting a 1099 miscellaneous. And with that, it's up to their tax preparer to decide if it's taxable income or not. Based on the grant and our tax IRS rules, we had to issue it.
Could you clarify the 2.9 million that you're short on that big project that you're working with? The child care? Yeah.
So the child care building, we received an IHCBG grant for $900,000. And we originally committed 1.74 million.
Boys and Girls Club, isn't it?
But now
You know,
after so long, with the way the prices have inflated, the actual costs come back at 3.9 million. So with that big increase, we need to find 2.06 million in order to meet the cost. Any other questions?
I just want to say thank you for your report. It was beautiful. It calmed a lot of people's nerves down, that report. We're up. Thank you, Fred.
All right, so up next we have Melinda Iverson with our Human Resources Department.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to share our department accomplishments with you all. I believe it's good for learning, for understanding, and to share my HR team's hard work and what goals they've been achieving, not only personally, but professionally. I have not been with the RBC HR department. I'm coming up on a year of that, so we've really been going through a lot of rebuilding and restructuring, and also creating new policy. And so one of the first things that we did as a team, along with Shooting Star Human Resources team, is to develop a comprehensive golden rules of leadership that we were going to follow and hold each other accountable for. And some of those things that are really important and integral for us to function, as a team is ethical decision-making, making sure that we are treating each other and the people that we provide service to with the utmost level of respect, time management and efficiencies, and forward thinking, making sure that, we're focusing on those solutions to make things better for the whole employment experience. And also celebrating successes, and so I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go through my report, but it's really a good opportunity for us to always look back at the things that we said are very important for us to do our jobs the best way that we can. Now, one of the things that I wanted to bring today is some statistics, and I hope with you all that we'll refine those statistics over time. We have 1,073 employees. And we have 80 people over we have 7 people over the 39 people from 70 to 80, 140 between 60 and 70, 193 between 50 and 60. That's 380 of our people over the age of 50 years old. So that's interesting, statistics to share. We have 222 between 40 and 50, 277 between 30 and 40, 167 above the age of 20. Most of our employees come from Monoman, actually 179 people, from Waban, 139, from Ogama, 128, Detroit Lakes are at 82, and Nadawash at 75, so that's the top 6 there. For years of service, we have 40 people over 40 years of service. We have 31 over 30 years, 69 over 20, 57 over 15, and 104 over 10. Our enrollment status is, for Native Americans that work for us, 65%. I've worked for a lot of organizations, and so you can tell that our Native preference is very much working, for us. One of the things that we have been implementing is some training opportunities for all levels of our staff. So we've employed the help of a RISE online based training solution. And what happens with RISE is they provide the curriculum. So I have a training department of 1 person.
Yeah, I could.
And so the curriculum is
I'll
written
cancel
and
that.
it's for our directors and managers to utilize within their divisional departments. They can take a
You're
training
welcome.
out of that curriculum library and they can incorporate their own videos, voiceovers, also add imagery, assign training,
Yeah.
assign testing to training, and also get reports. So we are actually in the process now, we've rolled it out to directors, and now we'll be bringing it through and infusing it through the rest of the organization. Currently, I've been a part of the cultural committee, and from a standpoint with the HR lens of policy and development and also updating job descriptions for that,
See you later.
we've been writing policy for cultural exemption due to CMS vaccination mandates. we've created real important training lists for onboarding our people. When I told you we were restructuring human resources, we recently hired 2 new generalists and a benefit specialist. And so we have incorporated training lists to make sure that their onboarding is done in a way that we're setting our people up for success. So they're meeting those job description requirements, and that we are really investing in them for their future with us. And not only that, but also for their growth and development. We do host regular HR meetings, also with other divisional departments. Tracy Watka had talked about us working on our HRIS system. And what we're doing is we're making sure that our processes align with our payroll processes so that we can reach optimal efficiency. And we are also using the program to the best of its ability. A lot of times, organizations will buy software programs and not use them to the best that we can. And so that's what we're really focusing on doing, is using those so that we can become more efficient and get things done a lot quicker for people. Along with that comes a lot more statistics that'll help us make change, and that would be turnover statistics, things of that nature. Our executive director, deputy director, is that we're really focusing on recognizing people's exemplary work and recognizing them for the contributions that they make to the organization. And so if we think about it, it's truly those little things that make the biggest difference. And sometimes a letter recognizing somebody's performance really goes a long way. So we've been tasked with really focusing on how we can celebrate our successes, because a lot of times when we focus on success, will follow. And we look at the whole person and that whole employment experience to be a good one. That lends itself to people having longevity and also us having high retention. We have worked to get the election board and the cannabis control board up and running. We've done some consultation with other companies out there for other trainings that we're bringing. Today, we actually have the Village Family Service Center presenting a training on stress management and compassion fatigue. And so a lot of our managers will be attending that, and then directors can bring it through their divisions with a link that'll be used at a later time. So we're really excited about being able to provide some of those things to give us more information for our toolbox. We rolled out a new 507 policy, which is our policy for COVID. We completed an inclement weather policy update. We've done a lot of mediation within departments to make sure that there's understanding and clarity between employees, supervisors, managers, and directors, and make sure that people are being understood and that the message is clear, that expectations are set so that they can move forward in a really good way. We have hired 107 people in the last 8 weeks. And so with people, we're really looking to fill positions. It has been difficult to do so. And it's not just indicative of RBC, it's indicative of, our whole geographical region. And so we have worked on a hiring plan in order to incorporate some new ideas to get more applicants, consequently more people into jobs. We just did a job fair in Netawash a month ago and had a really good response. I believe there was upwards of 60 to 70 people, that did come and apply and got help with applications and got some assistance in finding jobs that were related to their experience and education. One of the things we're also working on is federal mandates that we have to follow, especially with I-9s, and in making sure that we got people's driver's licenses, that we have their other certification pieces that are needed, and to keep those files separate in the employment file. So one last thing that we're very excited about and working with the IT department on is some electronic forms and electronic filing and also electronic routing. And so more and more organizations are going paperless. We still will provide paper copies of things for people who do not have access, but it will speed up a lot of things for us. So with that being said, I hope that gives you a snapshot of what our department provides for our people. Yes.
Ms. Iverson, I have a question. You quoted off the percentage of the various ages of our employees, their location. I'd like to know what the percentage of non-native versus native supervisors leads those in upper management. I'd like to know what that percentage is.
We can absolutely provide that at our next meeting. I did do a report, I believe it was last October, and I don't want to quote that right now, Anita, just because I don't want to make an error in the percentage, but I'll bring it to the next meeting.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mindy.
With that being said, Tim.
Which Mindy, we have Deanna Goodwin in our education division.
Julie Great. So I'm just going to go through alphabetically. So we have adult basic education. We have 11 graduates so far this year, and they've been working hard to recruit to get students to come back in. When COVID hit us again with this Omicron wave, some folks have kind of, not come back yet, but they're hoping to have double that for graduates by spring, by May. They've been approved for additional funding from MDE for COVID. They're putting more laptops out into their outreach locations so that the students and the teachers out there will have those available for their studying and their testing. They're going to have a new additional GED testing option called HiSET, training via Zoom for adult basic education. For Boys and Girls Club, the youth councils have restarted. I don't know if you're aware that all of our Boys and Girls clubs were shut down when the schools shut down due to COVID. So this past year, we have worked to reopen them. So we're reinstating our youth council. So we meet at least monthly with the older youth from the clubs to get their input on their club and their community needs. They talk about what is good in their community and what they see as needs in their community, as well as what they would like for their younger counterparts, their little brothers and sisters and cousins that are coming to the club. So the focus is youth directed. The Wabin Club has been reopened. They have great attendance. Monoman Club is running strong, but we're still in the Monoman school.
So Annie can see.
Pine Point Club just hired immediately, and so we should be open soon, but they're getting ready to
Annie
reopen.
wants to see who's
We brought on new staff for our grants coordinator,
and
and that was open for quite a few months, so we're really happy to bring someone in. We have additional computers, and we'll be splitting up the computers that aren't being used to add computer access for youth, and that'll be, we're looking at Pine Point and Wabin. They need more. A White Earth and Callaway. We have been notified of an incoming donation, and it's a big one by an anonymous donor, but we're not allowed to tell you how much yet, but we're excited about that. We're working with economic development for the April basketball tournament, going to be held at Monoman. Maybe when our economic development director comes up, he can tell us more about that, because I know that the plans have changed a little bit. We just met yesterday with youth. We have YCI meetings, so it's a youth council initiative. So programs are all able to come in and collaborate regarding the youth. And BAM stepped up from White Earth Community Council and is interested in collaborating with our Boys and Girls Club to restart their annual. And that's something that